Howdy there. This is Country Music Station. It's the Redeemer's Church Podcast with guest host Zach. Mark's here, I'm here. We're going to talk about being content. Well, let's get into it. Shall we?
Let's do it.
Do you say good morning, right, or something?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mark?
Did we get any signs of life from our
Last one?
out of country?
Oh, I haven't done the stats.
We are number 2 now. America.
US is
the U.S. is Singapore, U.S., and then somewhere, Japan or something.
Yeah.
So nice job.
So,
America.
konnichiwa. Kamsahamnida.
We constantly pour over the stats.
What is Russia?
I don't know.
I mean, how do you say hello?
Oh, Privyet.
Privyet.
Anyway, welcome from lovely Berkeley Springs. It's
Guten Morgen.
Is it a hot day? I feel like it might be a hot day.
It's kind of warm
I
out
haven't
there.
been outside really since 7.
I don't remember.
Bad.
Yeah, it's been. We've had a nice reprieve of heat.
Yeah.
Past week or so. A lot of rain.
I've had my grandson for 3 days.
I think you mentioned that.
Hence the bags under my eyes. But I love my grandson.
Well, that's appropriate, I think.
He was praying for you.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Was that said about maybe talking about the topic of contentment?
Yeah.
And so I don't know what scriptures you have in mind, but if you want to get us into it, we'll see what we come up with.
Yeah, so we talked about this past week at church. I started out in Romans 8, actually. And honestly, I don't think it really hit me until I read it Sunday morning. Romans 8:18, he says, "For I consider the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is going to be revealed to us."
Mm.
And really just kind of sat in that. And I don't know if I even have a full understanding of what that even means, of these present sufferings, as bad as they can be, because I don't have a full understanding of what the glory is to come.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying they're not even on the same scale. They're not even in the same.
Did you send that out as a link or something?
I don't think.
Because I saw something. Then I saw something along those same lines this week.
Yeah. But no, I just kind of and it got me thinking. 'Cause we got some teenagers in our church, and they're all hitting that age of wanting to. It's the end of the world if they're not dating a boy or a girl, whatever. And but I just got thinking about that. It's like back as a teenager, like if a girl broke up with you, it was the end of the world. But that doesn't even compare to what marriage truly is now. Looking back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the time, I had no concept of what that even was. But now looking back on it, it's like, man, I was so dumb to be so upset about that, And I feel like, in a sense, it's what Paul's saying here. It's like, man, to look back, once we're in heaven, to look back on what the sufferings are now, it's like man, why were we so upset?
Yeah.
But I can't even fully fathom really what that is or what that looks like. But it just got me to thinking, because he's talking of his present sufferings, and his present sufferings were in 2 Corinthians 11. There's 5 times I received the 40 lashes minus 1 from the Jews. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I received a stoning. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I've spent a night and a day in the open sea. On frequent journeys I faced dangers from rivers, dangers from robbers, dangers from my own people, dangers from Gentiles, dangers in the city, dangers in the wilderness, dangers at sea, and dangers among false brothers, toil and hardship, many sleepless nights, hunger and thirst, often without food, cold and without clothing, not to mention other things. There's the daily pressures on me, my concern for all the churches. And it's like, that's the sufferings he's referring to. These present sufferings he's in. It doesn't compare to the glory that's going to be revealed.
And the Christians were suffering too.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. But it's how does that thought process even? How does that even happen? How can you endure all that? And so that's what led us into talking of contentment. over in Philippians. I don't know how quick you want to jump to that verse, but Philippians 4:11, he says, "I don't say this out of need, for I've learned to be content in whatever circumstances I find myself. I know how to make do with little, and I know how to make do with a lot. In any and all circumstances, I've learned the secret of being content, whether well-fed or hungry, whether in abundance or in need." And this is what, I think this might be one of the most out-of-context verses that people use. It's the, "I am able to do all things through him who strengthens me."
Okay.
The context of that is being content.
Yeah.
I think often we hear it, and I'm not trying to talk down on anyone, but very often you hear that in a time of you're trying to overcome and change a life situation, or it's, I don't know. I don't normally hear it and think, oh, you're looking to be content,
Yeah.
But what, I guess, what is it? What causes us to be discontent?
Well, I have to think about you think about what being content in his day was. I mean, a person's day could be the entire day looking for food. And maybe they find food for their family, maybe they don't, I mean, we're at a level of luxury in this country that we don't even, it's hard to even, I mean, kings in England didn't have it as good as, they didn't have AC, they didn't have, food in the fridge. It's like the more you have, the more you want, or you begin to think that you're due. This is what I'm due. I don't know, man.
I mean, I think that is something you often see. People with the least in the world are the most content with what they have, or the most thankful. I don't know. But I certainly think we definitely live in a culture of, we seek contentment, but because we seek comfort, we seek for everything to be right all the time, I think. Maybe it's just me, but
no, that's not historically the way life on this planet is,
Or maybe we just have it in our mind that things are supposed to be different, and when circumstances come, I don't know, maybe we just have a delusion about that. But
I don't know. Lost.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a child, we had no AC, and it wasn't like, I mean, right now I would think if we didn't have air conditioning, it would be just awful, right? But it never even was a thing. You didn't, I mean, because I guess that's all you had, but we would have fans blowing in our bedroom at night. Our house was east-west, so that you take advantage of that breeze. But, and we were content, I guess we didn't know any better, but
I think this pretty well links to suffering. I think we spend a lot of time and energy, and not that we're trying to seek out suffering, right? Not that you're holier if you suffer, but we spend a lot of time trying not to suffer, to put ourselves in, like, say, rather it's air conditioning or rather it's
whatever,
you name it, you know. We put a lot of time and money and effort into being comfortable. And I'm not necessarily saying that's bad either, but it's not a bad thing to want to be comfortable, I don't guess. But
I guess that maybe people who are more content have actually found a secret, like Paul did, and you can't fully proclaim the secret. You can say his name, but you can't. Like, I can't give you the contentment that I have in Jesus, but I can point you that direction. Sometimes people who are in great illness and pain in the hospital are content. Most of them are not, but some are. Mm-hmm. And you can't help but go, oh, you found some kind of secret. And so far my experience is it's always something to do with Jesus. But I was telling someone recently who was she's very sick, and it's been a long time, and I'm just said, you have faith, right? Right? I have faith. I said, well, I mean, you have pain. Why don't let's talk about that too? Let's talk about that. And then I just encouraged her to, what do you want? Like, to me, part of my contentment comes from what I measure. Like, I'm tempted to measure the wrong things. I don't have central air, Mark. I have air conditioners, but I don't have central air. I don't have air conditioning in this room.
Yeah.
I can measure by that, or I could measure by, isn't it cool that I have air conditioning, I have fans, I have all kind, whatever,
Yeah.
you know, or I have, I got her to talk about the room that she was in, which was clean. And I said, how's your care been? And she said, it's been really good. I said, wasn't it? And it started to draw into her mind. She's like, I couldn't believe it when I came here, how good it was. I didn't think it would be this nice. And I said, wasn't that great? Let's measure that too.
Yeah.
Right. To measure that also.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
like I love, we have exchange student came this week, and I love his introduction so far to our family and to the country. We had 11 people for dinner last night, and Jenny was gone, and so it was weird. And just like, and then, you know, this morning, everyone's up, we're playing music, and I'm just like, there's something for me that's very content in getting up in the morning, playing music, and sitting around talking about music. And, or you could measure that, like the seat I wanted to sleep in had a dog on it. The couch I wanted to sit on had a person on it.
Okay. Yeah,
right.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah.
I think it's. I'm not saying I totally get this, but I totally am applying to myself and to others. Help. What are you going to measure?
Yeah.
Like I also was thinking yesterday, you know, to have, I think I said this at dinner, to have a good friend.
Yeah.
You know, and for so many people would change everything.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
for us, we have many good friends.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I think a big key to contentment is really, you know, it's embarrassing. I think sometimes you say, hey, what are you guys thankful for? And it's even Thanksgiving, they go, family. You're like when I ask like this, you can't say family. There's the question, you can't say family. But you ought to be able to name, or ought to, that seems strict, but 1,000 things, right? I have easily.
Clean water.
Clean water.
Food.
Easy water. It's not just clean, but it's
easy.
Where is it? From now, it's 10 feet away.
Yeah, 10 steps. And you'll have clean water.
Yes.
You know. You don't,
hot.
And you don't have to carry it on your back.
Cold.
Yes, all of that. Yeah.
Frozen.
Yeah. You don't have to kill the food that you need to eat.
You could do 100 on water.
Yeah.
Or you can,
Yeah.
it comes out of a little sprinkler for me too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, water your garden.
Or I mean, for myself, to water myself every day. Water my garden.
Yeah.
No one's trying to kill me at the water source.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that like that, all what I just said, those thoughts, that's all surprised me in a genuine way. Like the idea, like a walk to my water source. There's no bandits there or lions. It's just a knob. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's part of being content, is to actually be surprised with the things that you have and to call them out. And so I would say that'd be one of the big parts for me, to get more content.
We ended up talking a lot about circumstances in life, which all that I guess kind of is in a certain level, but like when there's circumstances that happen that are out of control, I think that's often when I find myself the most discontent. Or just when life's hard, or when.
Do you know what a secret is, though? Everything is out of your control.
Yeah. Yeah.
The truth is.
Well, I think that's one of the, because we got talking a lot about, you just kind of, tie that into, lies that we believe over truth of Scripture, where the truth or the lie is that I can control. I have this under my control. But I think often whenever, because circumstances in life will seem to say different than what Scripture says, if you only judge by experience. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me an example.
Yeah. So, I mean, the example I always go to is, when mom and dad got divorced, circumstances, or at least my feelings, were my parents don't love me because they wouldn't be doing this, which that was far from the truth, so in a broader sense, well, how could God be loving? Because look what's happening around the world.
Yeah.
Look what's happening in my life. So we get, when we believe a lie versus what Scripture says, we can get very discontent very quickly, or if we feel, man, I don't know.
Well, in Job, remember in Job, he says all these bad things happen to Job, and the Satan says, well, let me just touch him, and you'll see how fast he'll cry uncle, right?
Yeah. And
although Job didn't curse God, he did. It really got his attention when he himself he got afflicted on his body.
Yeah, I think I think that's my biggest struggle, is just circumstances in life with being discontent with, why are we going? I mean, you know what our last month's been. Why did this happen? Or, man, your kids get sick or have a, like I say, I mean, all these things that are out of your control. It's very, very quick to get discontent with life, and I mean, much of what we just read that Paul went through was completely out of his control, but then in him still saying, I've learned this secret to contentment. Mm-hmm. It's that, I think what Isaac brought up about it last night, he said, man, because we talked a lot about how, it can just be a mindset of, well, I mean, when you change your attitude from complaining to being thankful, that's a mindset change, and I think he was helping me work this week, and he's like, man, it's so much better when you're just content with I feel so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I got looking at even, Jesus talks about that, being content in Matthew 6 of, don't worry about your life. I mean, really, that's what discontentment is, right? We start to worry, or we don't like our circumstance, or we're worried. He says, don't worry about your life, what you'll eat or what you drink or I think you brought that up last night. It's that I have someone caring for me. I don't need to, right? I have a shepherd
Someone's more responsible for me than I am.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God for that.
It's weird though. That's a very. I feel like when I say that, it's like you shouldn't say that.
Really?
Yeah, because America, right? Like I am responsible.
Oh yeah.
I'm the father, and I'm the pastor, and I'm responsible. Well, no, I am, but the Lord is. Yeah. The Lord is more responsible for me than I am. So when my bills stack up or the sicknesses are stacking up, the Lord is responsible for me.
Yeah.
I barely can see. Like I can't see the future. I don't remember the past.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I'm just trying to I'm just trying to be faithful today.
Did you ever struggle with that with your ankle?
With why me?
Well, just being content in the spot. Oh. How did that play out? Because I mean, I've never been through something that extensive for that long.
I gotta say, a grace to me, and maybe to people somewhat in general, is I don't remember most of 2020. So, and I took so much pain medicine.
Yeah.
But I do remember the pain. I remember that I was in pain almost all the time that year, and I felt isolated, I think. And one thing was funny. I don't think it's bad. Anyway, so I sat in the chair with my leg up, and people would bump into that chair, and it just hurt so much. And I don't know, like you feel like if they knew how badly that hurt, there's no way they would have bumped that chair.
Yeah.
I remember that that's kind of the worst feeling that I remember of going. Yeah. It is weird though. Other people's pain in general is. I was talking to someone who, I don't want to tell who it was, but they've become estranged from almost all of their people. Not like almost everyone who had been their main people in their life, and she's it's been a while, but she's really still struggling with it. And from my perspective, I'm like, well, that was months ago. But if that's you, that's And so. I don't know. I confessed that to her. Maybe I should have kept it to myself. But I just said, hey, maybe I was a little flippant about asking you because I am not you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know when you were going through your ankle, or not ankle, your whatever thing.
Ankle area.
I was a little bit, what would you call it, going through despair because it didn't seem like, I mean, we go to the doctor and would be like, oh, okay, maybe things are going to get better. And they just didn't. And I'm like, oh, no. I mean, all the skin graft things and all that. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah, the way to, this is interesting. It's a little bit off the thing, whatever. I think we're just talking too. So we do have topics, but we always just, anyway. So they said, I thought I was doing pretty well with trauma of all that. And then the one surgeon said, we're going to cut off about a hand-sized piece of your calf. All that skin, we're going to cut a trench down to your Achilles tendon, and we're going to attach that skin there. and I felt so sick. Like, like it came from not just from my mind, but like from your gut. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was sweating, and I was like, and thankfully they didn't do that. But yeah, so even though you feel like you're doing okay, so like right now, if I had to have surgery at all, I'd be like, let's give it a while. Let's see, maybe
give it a moment.
whatever it is, whatever the surgery is.
Yeah.
I do think, I wonder if we could split. I'm not sure that worry and discontent are the same. They overlap. I think you had said.
Yeah, I think.
And I think they overlap, but not the same. Like, right? Because I'm not worried that, I don't know, I can never think of examples that are not just terrible to say. Well, like, it'd be nice to have steak. We never have steak, but I'm not worried about having steak.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that a fair slice between something that's not?
Well, I mean, I guess there's definitely a difference in worrying, but I mean, I guess discontent would be more of being upset than concerned. Would that be right?
You'd be discontented if you couldn't have steak. It's like, well, I can't have steak, so.
You know who I am?
Yeah, do you even have any idea who I am?
Well, this is a thing for all of us. I know for me, like, sometimes I have to remind myself, this is the life I chose.
Yeah.
And I choose it today.
Yeah.
Well, like this morning, the dog's someone's on the couch. You're like, well, go sit on the dining room. This is the life I chose. But discontent is not, I'm not worried about that. Sometimes I would, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which goes back to measuring, right? If you're going to, what do you measure?
Oh man, that just hit a chord. I was like, the 10 million questions from my grandson. I chose that. I did choose that.
Yeah.
Choose that.
A few ways.
Yeah.
You chose it by having a daughter. You chose it by saying yes to him coming. You chose it by living in the moment with him, as opposed to giving him 12 tablets to play with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shut up, kid.
Yeah, right.
We used to go to my great-grandma's house once in a while on a Sunday. And I'm old enough that on Sundays, there were a lot of things you weren't really supposed to do. Like, you weren't really supposed to play. When you're around old people, they didn't want you playing. They wanted you to be quiet. And she didn't have a TV, so there were like 3 toys, and you had to play with them quiet. One was a top. I had to play with a top,
Yeah.
And you were allowed to go outside and swing the gate. There's an old gate, a wrought iron gate, and
you weren't allowed to.
You're allowed to swing it.
Okay.
Not on it, but swing it.
Okay.
And it was.
Let's go open the gate. Yay.
But I guess I'm getting kind of the opposite with you and Jude. Like, instead of, like, and she didn't want anything to do with you. I guarantee that, great grandma. You keep it quiet.
Okay. All right.
And so you chose all that.
Yeah.
And now you're tired.
And now I'm very, very tired. But
well, let's get another image of Luke 10. We ran last night, but Mary sitting at Jesus' feet. She's I didn't get to say this last night, or I didn't choose to say it, but I love something I really love about that encounter is that there's no one word that describes what happened there. Jesus said she's found the one thing. He doesn't name it. That's cool, right? It's just a picture, which I think is so good for anti-religious.
Yeah.
Like, if he said the one thing is you must tithe, man, we would be.
Oh my
We'd
goodness.
be tithing and then whoring around and drinking and shooting people.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I tithe, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, right? If we just,
I
don't know. I might break that. I might mess that up too. But if the one thing was she's sitting here, she's listening, she's looking at me, she's not in a hurry to do anything else. She's found the one thing, and it's me. Well, also the one thing is Jesus. But but that's such a picture of contentment. I really don't know how to get more. I try to be genuine in what I say. I try to get how to be more balanced toward not being in a hurry, and maybe especially with the Lord. So, like, I go to bed early. I can't go to bed much earlier, but I go to bed early so I can be quiet with the Lord and pray and listen. But should I go to bed at 8? I don't want to do it in the morning.
Right.
Although I do it in the morning, but in the morning I'm a little bit more. My morning time is more. My brain is more actively focused on the day. My nighttime brain is more reflective on the day.
Okay.
You're a morning right? You're more of a morning reflector, or not?
Yeah, somewhat, but I do very much get into planning on the day. In the morning,
Okay.
it'd be hard to. It is hard to do one and not the other sometimes, but prayer time is probably more evening, for sure.
Oh, okay. I thought you were more of a morning time for that.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably
Yeah.
a little bit of both. In the evening
Oh.
time, my prayers would be different than my morning time, I would think.
Can we just say that for a second, just for the sake of the kingdom? Is, if Jenny comes in and it's 9:00 and she says, "Hey, I need to talk to you about something," I don't go, "Well, I do that in the morning," right?
Oh yeah, right.
Like we are relating to God, and so I think we should kind of be aware of our own rhythms, but also like I could definitely. Well, even Isaac said last night he was, "Am I reading my Bible enough?" And "Am I on the phone too much?" And they're like, "Man, I just wanted to say it's not."
Yeah.
Try to get that out of your head a little bit, right, and to look at, am I making space for God? And
Yeah.
are you reading the Bible and then reflecting on it? And thank God that he said when he's reading the Bible, he feels really good about it. Like he feels something like it's pleasing to read the Word.
Yeah.
So that's a great blessing.
Yeah.
So
How would you? Because we're talking about being content in hard things, but I think with the exception of what you went through, we haven't really talked. We've talked about uncomfortable things, but not hard things. And how do you shepherd someone going through and say, well, you just need to be content, or where does contentment begin and or end? And no, I have to do something about this.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was getting at too, is how passive in a way, or how reflective can I be, as opposed to, go and talk to somebody about Jesus, pray, go into someone's house, helping them.
Yeah. Well, I think you mentioned a balance. I mean, you have Paul telling you to submit to the government, but he also used his rights as a Roman citizen as far as he could to appeal to Caesar, and there is a balance in that,
Okay, so someone's going through something. I don't think, maybe that's just not the time to teach on contentment.
Yeah.
Because my experience more as a chaplain is that people who are going through very hard things, if they have faith, most people feel like they can't express their dissatisfaction and say, like this lady I was using earlier, using as an example, she said, I just got to apply my faith. Yeah. And then sometimes as a chaplain, you say, first, can we just say that this is very hard, that you've been in the hospital for months, and you haven't improved very much or at all, or that you had cancer. We have a good friend who had cancer, and now his cancer has come back. Like he had a huge battle, a battle that is at least secondhand, hearing from his family, it would crush you.
Yeah.
And so maybe the day isn't to go, hey, you need to. I don't know. Maybe it's
well.
not
So my verse, Jeremiah
29:11.
29:11 is that became my thing when I was going through cancer.
Yeah.
Because
I know the plans I have for you, Mark. Plans to prosper you,
Yeah.
not to harm you, to give you a future and
And
hope.
I believe that that's true.
Yeah.
And so I have to think, okay, then I'm in it. I need to be looking around.
Yeah.
Well, I think we get, it would be really hard. It'd be really hard to have, I don't know if you could have a conversation like that with someone that's not a Christian. That would be, why be content in anything, outside of what hope do you have that you're looking forward to outside if you don't have Christ?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That instance forced me to, I got to the point where I believe this stuff or I don't. And if I believe it, then, my life is not here. I pray for healing. Well, I didn't pray for healing. Everybody prayed for healing for me. But we didn't specify which side of glory the healing comes,
Well, and, God winning was Jesus suffering and dying.
Yes.
That was a win.
Yes.
God winning in Paul's life was Paul preaching the gospel, Paul suffering, Paul going to Rome, and ultimately dying.
Yeah.
That was
at
God's
the
plan.
end of the day, that's a trip we're all taking, right?
Yeah.
And so the winning is being with Jesus. That's the real win. like you said earlier, our mind can't even comprehend what that's going to be like.
Yeah, I can't get past that verse. Like,
Yeah.
Which one?
the first one we read in Romans 8, just,
Our present sufferings.
our present sufferings, as bad as they are, and not to minimize anything, people,
No.
because my goodness, I have
Yeah.
not suffered the way many people have, majority of people probably, but like, it's not even worth mentioning compared to glory, and I can't fathom that, because man, some folks, I mean, Paul suffered,
Yeah.
I mean, tremendously,
Yeah.
could you imagine what his body looked like after being whipped
Oh,
and
hey,
beaten? And
hey, look, I just got
that
bit
many
by
times.
a serpent or whatever. What was that thing? That poisonous snake or whatever.
Yeah. But like,
It shakes it off like it's, happens all the time.
but that's also like, that's a confidence.
Yeah.
That's a man, I don't even know what the right word is. That's a confidence in what's happening and where you're going and who you are. It's identity. We talked a lot on identity in this. It's, man, you when you know who you are, because that's what it goes on to say in Romans 8. It talks of, man, so much of who we are in Christ, and
What's
when you have a right understanding of that, contentment changes.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
that
I'm a child of God.
the 40 minus 1, the whole thing of that is that 40 lashes would kill you.
Right.
So, I mean, he was beaten almost until death. How many times did he say he had been beaten like that?
4 or 5 times like that. 3 times with rods, stoned, which that's, they think he's dead.
Yeah.
Well,
they did think he was dead, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And but it's just, man, it just trying to get a right understanding of what the future glory is, that's not even worth mentioning in comparison. I mean,
yes.
I don't know. It gets much worse than that.
Yeah.
I think to connect that verse to Peter walking on water, and then he saw the wind, and he started to sink. And I wonder, will I grow before I die to not see the wind so much? I get frustrated that I can be anxious. I had a day I had to call, and I didn't call you, not you guys, because I don't love you, but I sometimes I have to confess different things to different people, so I don't put too much burden on anyone. But one day, I mean, it was Monday, I was just angry. I think it was Monday. I was just angry. I don't know if you know. Not in any way. Just angry. And so I texted somebody, said, "Hey, I'm angry. I'm confessing." I said, "Okay, thanks. Shut up. Leave me alone." But then, oddly, not to you, maybe you guys, but then Tuesday, someone sat me down and said, "Man, I'm so angry." And then nothing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I said, "Well, I said,
imagine.
"Yeah." And I was able to really empathize with them quickly, because I was like, and not to go, "Hey, you should hear about my anger," but just say, "Man, I just had the same kind of thing," and turn into a really good ministry and conversation. I'm not saying I want to have that day again.
No.
But I am saying the Lord is using the things in my life. The wind, I don't know, man. I just hope that at 78, by grace, that I'm less concerned about the wind than I am.
Yeah. Well, I just got, as you're saying that, I got to thinking, like, how do you endure that? I'm thinking of Paul, but then it's like, then I think of Philippians 3:10. He says, my goal is to know him, the power of his resurrection, the fellowship of his sufferings, being conformed to his death, assuming that somehow I'll reach the resurrection from among the dead. Like, if that's his life goal, then in the midst of suffering, he's like, yes. And that's, I don't know, it's just mind-boggling to me, but I think understanding what he had I keep coming back to mindset, but his mindset was that, like, my goal is just to know him in every way, shape, and form, including in suffering, including in death, including in.
So I think sometimes, for me anyway, I don't embrace suffering because I don't see it. No one really
Not in the
particularly
moment.
persecutes me for being a Christian. Like, no one, I don't get beaten with rods.
Yeah.
But bringing someone into your home, as you guys have done, and then having very hard issues is suffering. And it's suffering. It doesn't come from someone saying, "Hey, you guys are bad. You shouldn't help people," but it comes through trouble. So it's still suffering, and even suffering of illness and breaking your leg. And I don't know. It seems like it'd be easier to identify if someone beat you with rods that you were suffering.
Yeah. Right.
But, and then I guess because I was also thinking sometimes we think we're suffering.
Yeah.
From the hands of other people, but really you're just a jerk.
Well, that goes back to, I think, what we talked a couple of weeks ago of God's discipline. Like, if you're suffering just because of your own stupidity or because you're a jerk or whatever, and Lord, and God will be, all right, you want to you want to act that way, and so, even in suffering of our own fault, it's still the Lord loving us, allowing us to suffer, and allowing us to, and that's where this is another one of those well-quoted verses. We know that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. That's all in this same section, you know. And I don't know. But I think like you said, I don't identify suffering in the present time with, this is because I'm a Christian, or this is because, like I say, it'd be easier if you were being, you were proclaiming Christ, we're going to whip you, and don't say, don't speak his name anymore. But understanding and rightly identifying, this isn't, we're not warring against flesh and blood. This is spirit. This is,
well, and also like everyone suffers, but only some suffering is redeemed, right? The suffering that is brought to Christ and, applied to Christ, like I'm calling on the Lord, and so he's redeeming my suffering. I don't guess he's redeeming the suffering of the godless, I guess. I would do all kinds of things not to suffer.
Right, and I don't think, there's times Paul fled. He didn't just, he lowered, but I think that's, it's definitely not going out looking for it.
You guys know, I don't want to tell those stories right now, but I have some stories of suffering for doing what I think is right in the church and suffering. It's not always, one thing I struggle with is when I was telling those stories, first of all, I feel like they could give the church a bad name, which I don't want to do that. The big church. Yeah. Also, I only went through it in my own perspective. So I guess I could, if I had to, I could sort out, this is a case where I suffered for sure, because this is the main thing that I did. But it is tricky too to say, like one thing it took me embarrassingly long time to realize that the good guys don't wear white hats and the bad guys don't wear black hats, and that we're riddled with our own sin, and so we can,
simultaneously good guys and bad guys.
That is what he said, I was in danger from false brothers, and I was like, boy, in our culture, to call someone a false brother is a lot. You go, well, I don't know. Like, I wonder what Paul was thinking when he said, I was in danger from false brothers. I just would be really slow to call someone a false brother. Yeah. Especially in public.
In that day, though, didn't they have people that were using the gospel as a
and
way to make a living or whatever?
Well, even Galatians, right? He said, "Who came in and bewitched you? Who brought a false gospel?"
Yeah, so, those guys.
And even at that, they were trying to. I think you might experience that in an area where they're trying to eradicate Christianity. So if we were, overseas somewhere else, and they were trying to find out where the Christians are, someone could pretend to be a Christian, come in and sell you out. I'm sure Paul had those issues with the Jews. He talks of being in danger from Jews, from Gentiles, from false brothers, from people he thought were brothers and sisters that actually weren't. So I would assume it was to turn them over. Yeah.
False brothers, though, I can maybe think of one, like someone who really presented to me as, and just wasn't, I don't think at all, a Christian. Do you have a lot of experience with false brothers or not?
I think somebody that says they're a Christian, but
for the purpose of
something, gaining something, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's just trust or.
Well, money, career.
Money, career. Yeah.
Influence, power. Yeah, I think sometimes people they're not close to me, but people who are further away, like, they'll take up, musicians actually will take up Jesus' name because it's a way to get started, maybe, and stuff like that. But maybe not. Yeah.
I think it gets actually thrown around quite a bit when it shouldn't be.
What's that?
False brother, or false teacher,
Oh, right.
or more or less you disagree with me.
I disagree with you.
Yeah, right.
You're a false teacher, and it's like, man, I would think to call someone a false teacher is they're actively leading you away from Christ. They're preaching another gospel,
and from what they don't believe is true.
Yes.
Like, I listened to something yesterday about baptism, and I have a pretty strong conviction about who ought to be baptized, and not so much how, but who ought to be baptized. And the guy, I thought, was wrong. He did load his case to make him look like he was just smarter than my case. It was a video, but I think he should have done it differently, but I wouldn't call him a false brother or a false teacher. I think he's clearly wrong, but that doesn't, I don't think he, confirmation bias is so real, right? That it's very hard to change your mind about something. Yeah, I guess I would like to be, I hope that's something I think I am changing at, is becoming less convicted about, or like I'm less strong in things that I think are open to, like what happens, even last night, what happens when you die. I believe you're with the Lord. That's what I think I think it's the most hopeful way to look at it. I think it's what happens on the cross. It's what happens, I think 1 Corinthians 9 talks about to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. There's also other things to consider.
This very day you'll be in paradise?
That's what I was talking about on the cross. Yeah, Jesus says, today you'll be with me in paradise. So, but if someone else says, well, there's this word sleep that comes up 8 times or whatever, and you go, okay, well, that's great. Thank you for helping me be wiser about the mystery of being a Christian, right? But if you said, should I love my wife or my neighbor's wife? Oh my gosh, this is easy. Love your wife. Right. Yeah, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
I got a little follow-up to something I mentioned on the podcast about how I know I'm a Christian.
Okay.
We hear his voice. And I shared it with you guys, but I'll tell these guys too. I mentioned that there was a person who I felt compelled to pray for, and who, in my opinion, doesn't really like me very much. But, and I thought of her like 5 times in 2 days, which is a lot. And so I told you guys I would probably be following up with her. So I sent a text and just saying, hey, thankful for you. Some of our partnering in the gospel in the past, and you're on my mind. I hope everything's well. I just want you to know I'm praying for you. And the text I got back was this very minute. I was sitting with my children. We were talking about you and your wife, and about things you've done that were beautiful to the Lord, something like that. And we're thankful for you, something like that. So, what
a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Well, I guess I'm not sure about anything, but why God had all, I think that was a setup from the Lord. I don't know what, but what is it?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Well, you don't see that. Yeah. You don't have that point of view. Maybe maybe we'll see after, but on the other side, but
I think it's interesting that if you'd have acted upon it on your first thought, it probably wouldn't have had the same impact.
Not the same, yeah. That was pretty, so I put it off-ish or whatever. I don't know. That's another thing. Like, am I putting things off or am I just waiting? I don't know.
God knows you procrastinate, right?
Well,
I mean, of course I do, but I'm also, often I'm waiting. Like, I'm waiting for
There's absolutely no way to know the answer to any of that. None.
So,
it's just funny how.
So 4 o'clock on that day, whatever day we'd met, I sent the text, and it was the moment that, so. And I do think she was encouraged, and I was encouraged, so I guess that's enough for the Lord to, and I don't know. Who knows what he's doing?
You don't know what that piece of the puzzle means.
That's right.
And it might be integral to something. Yeah. Well, I'm sure it is, actually.
But if you get a text from almost anyone and says, you are on my mind and I was praying for you, and we'll let you know. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Is there anything I can pray about? Whatever. So that's probably almost always a good thing to get.
Yeah, God laid on my heart to reach out to 2 people in our church. I told you about this, months ago. And he would not leave me. God would not leave me alone
Yeah.
about it. You know. So I had to pull over where I was and text him
All right.
and said, "Hey, look, I don't know what this means, but God put it on my heart to pray for you guys, and so here I am." And it meant something.
Yeah.
That moment meant something. So just like what you were just saying, Zach, what if I'd have waited later? Maybe it would have meant something, or maybe it wouldn't have. But
Yeah.
it's
Well, more
weird
of
the
that.
time. Yeah, more of
I
that.
think
Yeah,
more of that.
yeah.
I would say, being content in waiting. That was one that came up.
Wow.
Being discontent in waiting.
Yes.
But to be able to be content in waiting on, because I've experienced that too, like feeling like I should say something, but it's like, it's now the time, and I mean, I've had people kind of have a pretty harsh feeling on that of, well, you didn't, then you disobeyed, and on and on and on. But it's like in that moment, it was better to wait on the Lord.
Why do we talk to each other like that?
I don't know.
Why do we?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure I do it too. But why do we just go? Why do we act like? Yeah, I don't know. I would say there's probably, if you were to really, there's 100 things you're waiting on right now, right? If you were to really think about it.
Yeah.
And so we don't really practice that. I'm in a waiting pattern. Someone told me yesterday, stand by, and I was like, oh boy, that's my best thing. I don't think it is, but
Wow.
you're gonna fix it. Is what they're gonna fix it.
Okay.
Stand by. I was like, okay,
Okay.
I can do that. Last night we had dinner and we prayed. I just felt led to pray for Chago. He'd hit his head, falling off monkey bars.
Like, is this an again thing? No, here it is, ankle earlier. Okay, never mind.
And Onyo has just gotten here, and I said, let's pray for him. And it can be a very hard adjustment to be 16 and thousands of miles away from home. And I kind of was hoping it would be more than it was, but to be content that we can go to the Father around this table and offer two people to him. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool when really cool things happen. Like, Chago's like, my head doesn't hurt anymore. You're like, that's amazing. His head didn't hurt when he got up this morning, so that's good. But what about just being content that we can call on the Father and he listens to us?
Yeah.
And then we can also, that's a witness to them both, that we love you. And like, talk about being welcome, that's another level of being welcomed, is these strangers are just going to pray, not like in a scary way, or we pray that Onyo would get his life together and that he would be a good person and a good American or whatever. It was just he would sing glory, glory, hallelujah before he goes home.
My daughter was on a cruise and the seas were really, really bad, and she asked me to pray for her. And she said that I said, well, what happened? She goes, oh, worked like a charm.
Yeah.
I said,
Like a charm.
Yeah, it's not a vending machine, but
yeah, the Lord is with you.
But I mean, that's how he came after me, is by showing
signs and wonders.
Yeah.
Well, you guys had enough. It's been a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to add, Zach? A great verse we didn't get to was, I forget where it's at, but godliness with contentment.
With contentment
is a great gain.
Mm.
It's worth reflecting on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking of that. Like, I wonder what would change in life, or change in our day, in our mind, if we just really sat down and said, you know what, I'm just going to be content with what the Lord's given me.
Amen.
And I think
Oh, yeah, you got me stirred up again. My favorite psalm is 131.
Yeah.
One of my favorite psalms is, my eyes are not lifted up. I don't think about things too great or marvelous for me, but I have calmed and quieted my soul. And then I'm mostly sure that it should say in English, like a fully nursed child is my soul within me. It says weaned child in the NIV, but I've read about it, and the image really doesn't make sense.
No.
But it makes sense to me, and it makes sense as a fully nursed.
Yeah.
Because you've all seen a baby that's completely drunk on milk.
Yeah.
And his soul, my what do you say? Like a fully nursed child is my soul within me.
Yeah.
And so that kind of contentment, I mean, I think maybe there's something about Thanksgiving that can be that, where if you don't eat too much, but you've got your table filled with people that you love. And or just a meal
And
with
you have
friends
room
give
for
me that.
and you have room for nothing more.
I think it gets me. It's usually when I get in a bad place in my mind. Like often, I don't do it often enough, but I'll sit outside and just look around. It's like, okay, the Lord gave me that.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Lord gave me that.
Yeah.
I have no reason to have that. I have no reason to have. I can't afford that.
Yeah.
But here it is, and it recenters me quick. I think.
Yeah. A lot of scriptures to think about.
Yeah.
Let's
It's a
sign
great
off.
gain. It's a great gain to be
It's
content.
a great thing. Yeah, and I wonder how godliness fits into that verse. But godliness, I mean, it is godly to be thankful and content. I wonder how. Well, thanks for listening.
All right. We love you guys.
Yeah, peace.